Today we have the opportunity and privilege to have a conversation with Mr. Sean Buccannan. He's had important experience using the new nanotechnology referred to as complex nanofluids developed by CESI Chemical, a division of Flowtech Industries. I'm Glenn Penny, Director of Technology for CESI and the inventor of CnF. I also have here Dr. Jim Crafton.
Hello.
Of Performance Sciences, a third-party independent consultant for CESI and Flowtech. Sean, I'm glad you could be here today. And we're going to have you give us your insight and describe your experiences with this new complex nanofluid chemistry.
The only time you used the CnF was in the frac job.
Correct.
Would it have changed things if you did it any other time in the life of the well?
I'm not sure. Couldn't tell you. I mean, that's a good question, though. Yeah. We did not do it during the pump down operations, so there was some non-treated water put into the well, but very small amount.
The effect of the CnF in the frac job persisted for at least for 12 months.
Correct.
Do you have any anticipation that performance would allow you to forecast what the ultimate recovery difference might be?
You'd have to talk to those reservoir guys. They actually were changing some of the EURs and the numbers based on what we were seeing out of the other wells. So some of them did increase. I know that.
But in light of your previous comments about the rate of decline, I assume from what you were saying that you would expect these wells to have a shallower rate of decline, less risk of damage, obviously, because they're...
Correct. That was the main goal, yeah, in the whole time of the project. And as well as moving forward, that's kind of where we're at. They have adjusted the EURs based on what we've seen. But again, you know, a lot of the areas are different. You know, you've got an oily area and then you've got this gas condensate area. So there's a whole lot of factors at work there. But for the most part, I can't say definitively that's what it was, but I would say there's definitely going to be an adjustment made to these wells versus the original wells.
I presume by saying adjustment, it's upward, I trust.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So are these wells shut in while they're producing in this 12-month period you're talking about? And what happens in that period of time?
The only time they're shut in is when they finally get off the artificial lift. Because what we'll do is initially we'll flow the wells up tubing, and then we install the gas lift on it immediately, but we don't turn the gas lift on until the well falls off enough. So once the gas lifting is done and the well's loaded up, then they'll pull that string and then put them on a pumping unit. And at that point, you know, they're pretty much 50, 60 barrels a day.
Okay, so do you see any difference in performance when they're on artificial lift?
Well,
CnF, can you tell?
you know, we don't have enough data points, unfortunately. You know, it's still a primarily young field, 2 years old, or about 28 months old where we're at. So if I had a little more data, it'd probably be a more definitive answer. I hate to give you a bad answer.
Okay, so we asked the question on shut-in because it's our experience that when some wells are shut in, they can lose 25 to 30% of their production when shut in. And with the CnF over the U.S., we have seen that it has less impact. So we're just wondering if you might have picked up on that in the Eagle Ford as well.
I don't think we've seen it as bad in the Eagle Ford. There's a big debate on that, actually. And kind of on one side of the fence is that you can shut these wells in, and I don't think you're really going to damage them. But I definitely think that if you have the right additives, if that water does sit down there, it's not going to water block you later. And that's one of the reasons that we've looked at all these specialty additives that are on the market, is to kind of take care of these problems. I mean, we've done a similar additive that we've got from another company that takes care of the iron sulfide. Again, we've been happy with it. So.
Very good.
In a nutshell, can you just paraphrase your opinion about the value versus the cost of the use of CnF?
I think the value's there. I mean, if you see higher IPs, higher flow rates, longer flow, I think it's a no-brainer. I mean, these are the little things that you can do to the stimulations to make the well better. And anytime you can do that, even if it's an incremental cost, I mean, you're talking about less than 1% of the AFE, if that. to run this extra fluid, and the gain is well worth it. I mean, even if you gain, 10,000 barrels, it's going to pay for itself.
So can you just give us a summary of your use of CnF and what you would plan to do in the future?
Well, currently we're getting ready to start a new program in Montana, and we've actually got the CnF plan to go up there and go into our new wells. So yeah, we're going to continue to use it, especially when we see these high GOR areas that we're going to be working in. So I think this is kind of the wave of the future, and this is kind of the cutting edge, and you have to stay on top of it or you're going to fall behind the curve. And again, it's something as simple as adding a chemical. It's a no-brainer. If you can run it, run it. We haven't seen any problems with compatibility of the frac fluids or anything, so it's been pretty seamless for us. We've been very happy, very, very happy.
Dr. Crafton, do you have any further questions?
I believe that covers it. Thank you very much, Sean.
Hey, thanks for having us. Glenn, thank you.
Sean, thank you very much for being here, and thank you for letting us discuss the CnF and its application in the Eagle Ford.